Well, good morning. Happy Monday. But I've been laying in bed thinking about breakfast. And what am I having for breakfast, you ask? Rock and roll pudding. Yes, we did try it last night. It didn't refrigerate overnight, but I'll tell you what, we just absolutely could not wait to try this. And it did not disappoint. But I'm thinking it's gonna be really amazing with a cup of coffee. Yes, look at that. Layers of vanilla wafer with that whipped cream and egg white and nuts and more chocolate just layered up. That is so good. Makes a pretty good breakfast too. This is my brother's absolute all-time favorite dessert. In fact, I believe he used to order it for his, or request it for his birthday every year when we were growing up. Although we didn't get it that much when we were growing up because it's kind of a messy, well, I wouldn't say messy, but it's not the easiest dessert to put together. Well, no, it's easy. It's just, maybe it's a little time consuming. So, if you're doing a grocery shop for this dessert, you're going to need eggs, nuts, dark chocolate or bitter chocolate, a little bit of sugar, some cream, semi-sweet chocolate chips, vanilla wafers, and mini marshmallows. Now I'm making a double batch of this dessert because I want to share it with a couple of my friends. So it's going to look like I'm making a lot, and I am. But this ought to be fun, so let's get going. When my mom made this chocolate sauce, she used a double boiler, and many years ago I did as well, but I find using a microwave is much easier and quicker. But a word of caution, chocolate burns very quickly in a microwave. Do not use full power and do not heat it for more than 1 minute between stirrings. It will take about 3 minutes to melt the chocolate, and you should do it in 3 1-minute intervals. Set the power at 40 to 50% and stir between each interval. Now I'm going to show most of the process for making this chocolate sauce because I think seeing it done is the best way to explain the process. So I will explain where helpful and let you watch as I make it. Tip 1 is to use a spoon or a paddle for stirring, not a whisk. A whisk is helpful for the last few minutes, but it does not work well early on. Now, my husband picked up this red paddle spatula looking tool that I'm using a while back, and I wasn't sure that I'd use it much, but I love this little thing. It's rigid but coated in silicone, so it's great for stirring thick stuff, spreading peanut butter, sandwich breads, honey, mayo, etc. But it's also heat resistant, so I can use it on the stove. I'll put an Amazon link for it in the video description box. It's very inexpensive, and I think you'll find it very handy. Now, speaking of those Amazon links, let me explain how that works just in case you're not familiar with them. If you select a link in my video description box and add the item to your Amazon cart and order it, Amazon will give my channel a small spiff at no additional cost to you. You do, however, have to use my links for the spiff to be tagged to my channel. So thank you for supporting the Amazon Affiliates program and showing your support for YouTube channels you like. We are grateful. Okay, back to the chocolate sauce. Once the chocolate is melted, I'll stir in the egg yolk and sugar mixture. And as I add it, you'll see that the chocolate begins to thicken and it wants to turn into a ball or a solid chunk. Just keep stirring. It will loosen up once you get all of the egg yolk incorporated. Then it's time to start stirring in the boiling water. Now you need to add a little at a time, stirring after each addition. And it won't look very smooth and you won't think it's blending in very well, but keep stirring. It takes a lot of stirring to make this chocolate sauce. Now I will eventually switch over to a whisk to mix in that last little bit of water, and it is now looking very smooth and shiny. And after it's completely smooth, I will scrape down the sides of the bowl and microwave it one last time for 30 seconds on high, and then give it a final stir. The hard part is now done, and it's not really hard, it's just a lot of stirring. Okay, I'll just let this chocolate sauce rest on the counter while I finish up the rest of the components for the rock and roll pudding. The next thing I'll do is whip the cream. Now this is heavy whipping cream and you do not add any sugar to this. I sometimes add just a little bit of vanilla, but no sweetener goes into the heavy cream. You just whip it until it's nice and thick. And then you will wash the bowl and your beater and whip up the egg whites. And after you get the egg whites started and they start getting foamy, you will add just a little bit of sugar, and this will kind of strengthen the egg white so that it can keep its peaks better as we fold it into the whipped cream. And you want to whip it long enough that that sugar actually dissolves so it's not grainy, and the egg white should start looking a little bit shiny, and you'll know that it's done. And then after those two items are whipped and ready to go, we will head over to the island and finish putting together that component. And now we're going to fold the egg white and the whipping cream together. Now you don't want to do a real hard or fast stir. You're pulling up the whipped cream from the bottom of the bowl and folding it over the egg white, so it's just gently incorporating them. If you stir it too fast and too vigorously, you're going to lose the fluffiness of this layer. So you just, as you can see there, I'm just kind of rolling my spoon from the bottom over the top and gently folding those together. Now we'll add the nuts and marshmallows, and these are the mini marshmallows, and there's just a little bit of sweetener on the outside of those marshmallows, and so this cream mixture will get just a little sweetener from those marshmallows, but it's not an overly sweet dessert. The chocolate has got a lot of dark chocolate in it, and it's not a heavily sweetened chocolate, and neither is this whipped cream layer. And now I will assemble the dessert. Now, if you like chocolate and you don't like your desserts overly sweet, you got to give this one a try. It is really yummy. The dessert does benefit from an overnight refrigeration before you dig into it, but boy, I'll tell you, that can be hard to do. So try to give it just a minimum of 4 hours before you dig in.